Hello everyone, so my name is Christopher Piedra and I'm going to be walking you through how we deliver the home, jobs, and soon the notifications experiences in Flightpath. So the homepage is of course the social heartbeat of the app. When you land here, there's going to be a React query which calls the /post/retrieve endpoint in AWS and loads a continuous feed of content. Each card is rendered by our post component, which shows the author, the media, the body of text, and the live counts for likes, comments, and shares. Every interaction, such as liking a post, or writing a comment, or deleting one, goes through our API fetch helper right here, which automatically refreshes the user's Cognito token so Lambda can authorize the request and update the Postgres table. The comment drawer also lazy loads threads via /post/retrieve comments right here, which keeps the interface snappy while still letting you dig into longer conversations. Now let's move on to the jobs page, which uses the same pipeline with a different presentation, which is tuned more for career content. Instead of general posts, it hits the /job/retrieve API and renders jobs cards that highlight the role, company, salary, and location for a job. The styling mirrors the home feed to keep the UI cohesive, but actions focus on applying to roles instead of commenting. Because we share the same infrastructure, we can add job-specific features like filters or saved searches without rebuilding the core pieces. Finally, here we have notifications, which are a near-term part of our roadmap. The UI you see here is wired to mock data so we can validate the experience and interactions. The plan is to create a /notification/retrieve endpoint that aggregates different data such as likes, follows, and comments, and for each data entry to show who did what and link back to the relevant post or profile. When you open up the panel, we'll call notifications/mark red so badge counts can stay accurate across devices. Once these endpoints are live and hooked up through API fetch, notifications will share the same authentication, error handling, and overall reliability as the rest of the app. In short, the homepage delivers the social feed, jobs layers on career-focused goals, and notifications are being staged with mock data while we finalize the backend, all on top of a shared React API gateway and Lambda foundation that keeps the experience consistent across tabs.
Hi everyone, I'm Matthew White. My main focus on this project has been creating and integrating Lambda functions to create and retrieve content from our database. For this part of the demo, I'll be walking you through the process of creating content on Flightpath. So when a user first signs up, they will be assigned one of 4 user roles: business, alumni, faculty, and student. This role will determine what content they are allowed to create. So over in the Create tab, it will call the Profile API, which returns your user role. And the profile I'm on is a business account, so it returned business. And for demonstration purposes, I've added a toggle where I could quickly change between the different roles. So for faculty, we can create a new post, event, and announcement. Businesses, a new post and a job. Student, a new post. Alumni, a post, event/group, and an announcement. If I wanted to create a new post, I would click on New Post. Now when I go to create the post, I can give it a title, content, and some optional tags. And I can add either an image or a video. I'll choose an image. Now if I press post, the post will upload to the DB and now it will show up under the home page. Now if I wanted to create a new job, I would click new job. Now when I go to create the new job, I can give it a job title, a company, location, description, contact information, apply link, work location, hours, and pay. And now after entering the post details, I can choose a work location. This can be on-site, hybrid, or remote. I'll choose hybrid. Hours can be either full-time or part-time. I'll choose full-time. And pay can be any number, and either hourly or yearly. So now if I put hourly and post the job, it will now show up under the job page. And now to see the job we've just created in the database, I can go to PG admin and query all the jobs. And here you can see the job with the title, Flightpath Developer, company Flightpath, our description, the location, as well as the user ID, and the pay type, job hours, and work location.
Everybody, my name is Jordan, and today I'm going to be showcasing one of Flightpath's newest progression milestones, the messaging feature. To access it, you navigate to the messaging tab on the top, and indicated by the chat bubble, where you'll see a user-centric UI intuitive design. I'm on a tester account right now to showcase some of the functionality with the message request system, and in doing so, we'll walk through the flow. By selecting new message on the top left, you'll see a user search mode will pop up where you can search for the user you'd wish to message, in which I select my main account with the avatar displayed. I'll send a message and it'll appear in the request section. For the sender, it'll say pending approval, and for the recipient, it will give an option to approve or deny the message. When clicking approve, it goes to the messages tab where you'll see it displayed, and to showcase real-time messaging, we'll send a message response. Those messages appear in real time due to the WebSocket gateway managed by AWS's API gateway with the connect, default, and disconnect to manage connections, as well as a send message Lambda function to all of these routes help messages show up in real time. To show that they're posting to the back end, we'll run a SQL script on the database where you'll see the two most recent messages here, test message and response. These connections are managed through another table in the database called WebSocket connections, which are, as shown, represented with the user ID, the time at which it's connected, the last seen, unique connection ID, and whether or not it's active. The last thing I'll show is the emoji bucket for a little more user-centric features, which allows the user to select emojis, and you can click anywhere to get rid of them. That'll be it for the messaging for now as we continue to develop the feature.
Hi everyone, my name is Angelina, and I will be showing the user onboarding flow for Flightpath. In this demo, I'll walk through signup, email verification, the complete profile step, login, forgot password, and our student and business profiles. I'll start with the signup flow. Here, the user chooses their role. Right now, we support student and faculty and business. For this demo, I'll pick student. We are currently using email and password from AWS Cognito, but we are working on integrating FAU's single sign-on for student signup and login. Once that is finished, attributes like account type, first name, last name, and FAU email will autofill from FAU. For now, we are filling those in ourselves. When I click Create Save Profile, the backend creates the user and sends a verification email. When I click Confirm, the backend checks the token and marks the account as verified. After the verification, the user will be redirected to login. I'll log in with the same account. Once the credentials are valid and the email is verified, the user is signed in and taken to their student dashboard. We also have a forgot password. So if a user forgets their password, they can use the forgot password flow. After verification and the user's first login, we send the user to a complete profile page before they can reach their dashboard. Here, the user can add basic info, like write a short bio, add user experience skills and courses that they've taken, and upload a profile image and banner image. Here is the filled out complete profile page. When I hit save, this will be saved to our backend. This is the student profile. You can see the profile picture, banner, and the fields we just filled in. The user's education, skills, bio, and experience are all visible and editable on the profile page. Here's the account setting where users can change their personal details, change their email or password, or delete their account. And this is the business profile where all their information can be viewed. So overall, this onboarding flow lets users sign up, verify their email, complete their profile, log in, and recover their account, and land on a role-specific profile that the rest of Flightpath will build on.
Hi everyone, my name is Mackenzie Falla, and my main focus in this project has been security and cloud infrastructure, making sure our platform is not only functional but also protected, reliable, and scalable for the FAU community. Since Flightpath stored sensitive student and faculty information, security had to be built into the foundation. I started by setting up a secure AWS architecture, which includes starting with creating VPCs. Next was to create public and private subnets, which you see here on our screen, as well as security groups to isolate backend resources and control data flow. This ensures that our database and APIs are only accessible through approved internal channels and there is no public exposure. I also implemented AWS CloudFront for content delivery and added key security headers like content security policy and referrer policy to prevent attacks such as clickjacking and data injection. We then locked down CORS policies, allowing requests only from our official Flightpath domain to block unauthorized access. On the monitoring side, I configured AWS Guard Duty, which you see here on the screen, as well as CloudWatch alarms to detect suspicious activity, failed logins, or API spikes. These tools give us real-time visibility into the system health and potential threats. To protect credentials, I used AWS Secrets Manager, which you see here on the screen. I also used IAM roles so that API keys and database passwords aren't stored directly in the code. As my next step, I plan to do some pen testing to identify and find any vulnerabilities before fully deployment. Overall, the goal was to make sure Flightpath is not just another web app, but a trusted university-grade platform that keeps every user's data safe.